Hi, welcome to Robyn's Roost. I'm Robyn Rassett, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator located in Minnesota. So one of the really cool things that we get to see in Minnesota is northern lights. Now, I honestly don't see it too much anymore. As a teenager, I saw a lot of them because I tended to be outside at night, running around, having fun, playing games, looking at the stars. Not so much anymore, but they're gorgeous. And this Northern Lights ink blending technique is a great way to capture that really pretty feeling. So let's flip the camera and I'll show you how to do it. Now for this blended background, I'm going to be using both the blending brushes and some sponge daubers. The blending brushes are easier to not get clumps of color, but the daubers actually make a deeper color. So I'm going to start with our lightest color, and I've just got a whole bunch of different colors here that I'm going to play with. We'll see how it turns out. Remember, each and every one of these is going to be very different. So let's see, let's start with my pink brush. We're going to start with the Petal Pink in the center. It's going to kind of be our glow. And you see that even when I went directly on there without stamping off or brushing off, with the brushes you get less glops, or however you want to say it. So we're just going to put a little bit of our pink in the center, and then we're going to start with some Highland Heather. And kind of work out from the pink. Now we can always go back afterwards and add more color. Actually, let's start with our green. Now our green and our red are going to be the actual Northern Lights, right? So this is Granny Apple, and we're just going to come in. Our Northern Lights are going to come across in a couple squiggles, right? Let's do 3. So we've got 3 different squiggles of Northern Lights going across our sky. And then we'll come in with some sweet Sorbet to give our red Northern Lights. And it's going to get darker as we go. Now we're going to add in our blues. So I've got Tahitian Tide, Night of Navy, and Orchid Oasis for our blues. And I'm not sure that Tahitian Tide might be a little bit too bright for a night sky, but I'm going to add some in here just to kind of give it a little. Now we're going to do the edges with the Night of Navy. And then I like to come in with the Orchid Oasis. Is kind of like a cross between the Highland Heather and the Night of Navy. It just kind of gives us a little bit of in between. Now I'm going to come back in and start to darken these areas. And for that, I'm probably going to use my sponge daubers, because it seems like they add the color just more vividly. But you have to be more careful with them because they will they're more apt to leave like spots from the actual pad, because you're putting on more at a time. And when you're doing this, remember to have fun with it. It's not rocket science, and if it goes wrong, you know what? It's a piece of paper. So have fun, and don't get too concerned about whether yours looks exactly like someone else's, because these are not going to look exactly like any other one. I don't care. I could make 10 of these, do them the same way, and they'd all look different, right? So you need to not be worried about whether yours looks like mine. So you can see that the sponge daubers are giving us a lot deeper color in here. Now we're really starting to see the night sky when we come in with this Night of Navy. And this bottom is going to be stamped over, but we don't want it white. So you don't have to do a crazy amount on the bottom, but you know, let's come back in with a little bit more of our orchid. See, that's a little bit brighter than the navy. Now I got a little bit too much over my granny apple there. I don't like that. So just come back in with some more granny apple, and you can see you can just keep going back and forth, adding your color until you get the depth that you want. So I have to remind myself it's better to work from the outside in so you don't get globs, and also to work in circles. But you can see that you can kind of fix it when you get it a little bit too much of a line. Just have patience. And then I think I'm kind of losing my my light color in the center, so let's come back and add a little bit more of the Petal Pink. Now whatever you decide to stamp on the top, you're going to want it to be a fairly solid image. You know, this deer would be good, the bear is good. I'm going to try him. I'm not sure how, if he's quite solid enough. Let's give it a try. And we're going to come in with just black, because this is a night scene, right? Now I'm going to be using some of these to make our background. We need to make a mask for our wolf so that we don't make him go away here. So I'm just taking a Post-it note and I'm going to stamp my wolf on it. And then we're just going to quickly cut around him. So we'll cover our wolfie up. And all of this stamping is going to be done with the black. These trees are from the dirt on the bottom are from the Grassy Grove stamp set. And then the animals are from the Wildlife Wonder, or the animal, the wolf. Now let's see, do I have him floating in the air? I kind of have him floating in the air a little bit. So there is this grounding stamp in the Wildlife Wonder. kind of got off my mark a little bit. I should have had the wolf down a little bit more. So let's just add in some ground. I'm stamping this off because this one I know stamps really solid. So there is our Northern Lights scene, and now we just have to put a mat on it and a base. So I have a piece of the Sweet Sorbet that is 4 inches by 5 1/4, and then a Night of Navy base that is, whoops, 8 1/2 by 5 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. So I'm kind of sticking with my colors that I've used in my inks. And we're just going to layer him up. Now you can see I was experimenting on this back here with some other colors that I didn't like, so I started over. Like I said, it's just a piece of paper. You can always start over. So there is our Northern Lights card. And then we'll put a piece of basic white inside and add a greeting. So have some fun with this technique. I'd love to see what you come up with. Go ahead and add a picture in the comments. Thanks for stopping by at the Roost, and have a great day.